on this shipwrecked episode of MythBusters.
Jamie and I attempt to survive on a deserted island with nothing but a pallet of duct tape.
That's right, it's duct tape versus wild in the most extraordinary survival challenge in history.
Well, it's been almost a full day without water. It's hard.
As Adam and Jamie take on Mother Nature using nothing but duct tape.
Ow. Back hurts, my stomach growls, and I'm thirsty.
Can they use it to collect water?
Why does everything have to be so difficult?
Can it stop them from starving?
Hey, oh, no! He got away!
And will it be sink or swim in the ultimate great escape?
There we go!
How will this mythical material manage in this mother of all trials by tape?
Can two grown men get by on a deserted island without driving each other crazy?
Who are the MythBusters? Adam Savage
That's disgusting.
and Jamie Heineman.
It's party time.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience. Together with Grant Imahara,
Get away from my car!
Carrie Byron,
You've seen your last martini, 003.
and Tori Belleci. They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. Pack your shades and sun hat because it's time to get cast as castaways.
What are you so happy about?
I'm happy because I'm excited, and I'm excited because it's finally time for Duct Tape Special number 3.
Well, hasn't let us down before. What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking it's time for us to do something truly spectacular. We've already done some amazing stuff. We sailed a boat on San Francisco Bay made of duct tape.
Yeehaw!
We traversed a 100-foot-long bridge made of duct tape.
I don't mind saying I'm hyperventilating. Ooh,
I stuck you to the ceiling.
fun for the whole family.
Exactly. So what are we going to do that's better than that?
Well, let's break it down and make a list of exactly what duct tape is good for.
Okay.
You can fix things, but then you can also build stuff, like you can make rope or sheet goods out of it. In fact, you can use duct tape to rescue just about any situation.
Stop right there. Rescue.
What are you thinking?
Oh, this is so good. What if you were stranded on a deserted island and you could choose only one material to bring with you? What would it be?
Duct tape.
Exactly. So we strand ourselves on a deserted island and all we have to survive is duct tape and duct tape alone.
Well, it certainly would be the ultimate test for duct tape.
Exactly.
As any castaway will tell you, staying alive on a deserted island is no mean feat. But could duct tape be the survival solution? Could this multifaceted mythical material really come to the rescue and save your life?
So what's the plan?
Well, of course, first we'd have to be marooned, stranded. And then we'd have to do all the things that you need to do, like find food, water, shelter to survive using only duct tape. And then I imagine we'd have to get off the island using only duct tape.
Oh, what are we waiting for? Let's get shipwrecked.
Okay.
To survive being marooned in the tropics, there are a series of life and death challenges that the MythBusters, like any castaways, simply have to overcome. The only difference for Adam and Jamie is that they have to overcome them using primarily duct tape. And to get started, there's two things they're going to need. First, a not quite deserted tropical island. And second,
So where's the duct tape come from?
I don't know, maybe it washes up on the beach, like over there.
a conveniently inexhaustible supply of their favorite fabric.
With this much duct tape, we are set.
Yeah, we can build just about anything with this.
Totally.
So we got no food, we got no water, we got no shelter. We do have duct tape. Somehow that's gonna help us get all those things.
All right, that is the last 7 rolls. What's the total?
That's about 225 rolls.
Wow.
I figure that's about 8 miles of duct tape.
Well, that ought to be enough. Where should we begin?
Well, I figure the first thing we ought to do is signal for help.
Fair enough. The fact is, if you do find yourself lost in the woods or on a deserted island, your odds of being found diminish the longer that you are gone. Therefore, one of your first and most primary tasks is to increase your ability to be detected by a search party.
Our plan is to use all this duct tape we've got to make a giant SOS signal. Hopefully somebody will see it if they're flying overhead and come rescue us.
Signaling for help is certainly an urgent challenge for any strandee.
Oh, the duct tape's acting like a sail.
But in the tropical heat, it's also a dangerous one.
It's hot, and if it's windy, and if you're moving around a lot trying to do stuff with no water, it gets pretty uncomfortable pretty quickly.
And pretty soon, it's already too uncomfortable for Adam to continue.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah.
The sun is killing me. I'm gonna have to stop because otherwise I'm just gonna fry.
Okay.
Now, the sun and I, we have always had an agreement to disagree. I don't like him, and he doesn't like me. So if I'm gonna get any substantive work done,
I'm gonna have to protect my head so that I can see and not get super sunburned.
this wind is brutal.
So while Jamie struggles on with the SOS,
Unless you want sandpaper, duct tape and sand aren't really an ideal mix.
Adam turns MythBusters milliner.
Normally I don't go anywhere without my hat, but not surprisingly I don't have it today, so a duct tape hat it is.
It's a crucial change of course, since sunstroke could seriously hinder Adam's health.
That's the first part.
Sun exposure is actually something to be avoided. Not only can UV rays burn skin, but even mild exposure can cause dizziness, nausea, and fever, all of which could compromise our desert island survival.
Which is why Adam's sticky Stetson
Oh, this is great.
is a tangent worth taking.
All right, let's get back to work. I'm back.
Oh, nice hat.
Thank you.
With a reinvigorated Adam,
Yeah, we're talking.
it's not long before their giant sign looms large. And with other more pressing things on the agenda,
This is thirsty work.
the guys soon decide that their SOS is go, go, go.
Well, our SOS signal is nice and large, and most importantly, it doesn't look like it belongs here. It's unnatural, which is what you want to catch somebody's eye from a plane overhead. The only bad thing about the duct tape is that while it is slightly reflective, it's gray. It's not the most optimal thing to catch somebody's eye, but we're using what we have, so it'll have to do.
Covering 900 square feet and visible from 4 miles up, the giant duct tape SOS is a good start for our canny castaways. But task 2 is something that's much more do or die.
The next thing that is at the very top of our list is water. We need fresh water, and we need it soon. Ow. Fan's hot. That means that we've either got to make it or we got to find it.
Ow.
One way or another, we got to be able to move around well to do that. And that means that we need shoes.
Here's the thing. This ground is really not very friendly. And if I were to puncture my feet, I could get an infection, I could get a parasite that would put me way out of commission and compromise my survival significantly.
Despite being tremendously thirsty, making shoes is another safety-first approach.
This looks like a good spot.
After all, going lame before finding water would be very bad news indeed.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I am making each step up as I go along, hoping that eventually this will be a wearable pair of feet protectors. But quite honestly, I have no idea.
Now, a long time ago, people discovered that leather was a great thing to make shoes out of.
I'm going for a Roman sandal type thing.
Me too.
As it happens, not long ago, in fact, we made a duct tape boat, and we found when we were working with it that it was very, very similar to leather. So that means that duct tape is actually a perfect material to make shoes out of.
I'm getting cautiously optimistic about these.
Because of the tape's leather-like qualities, the sandals take shape fast.
You remember what it used to be like in the summer when you got a new pair of sneakers?
You'd run really fast to the end of the lawn, and you'd run back again, and you'd go, Mom, look how fast these shoes corner.
This isn't going to be like that.
Despite the tremendous tropical heat, the guys cobble their way through rips, twists,
Look at that.
Instant rope.
and turns
Dude, check it out.
Those look great.
until both sets of shoes are all set.
Well, my shoes are completed. They're light, they're comfy. I'm not sure exactly how well they're gonna hold up, but the best part about their being made of duct tape is it doesn't matter. They're infinitely repairable.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Heinemann's no Jimmy Choo, but his shoes are also good enough for this catwalk.
Well, there we go.
Those look great. You know what I am?
What?
I'm freaking thirsty.
Well, let's go get some water.
All right.
With their footwear finished, the guys can finally begin the hunt for some H2O.
Water's essential to life. A person can go for about 3 weeks without food, but they can go only about 3 days without water. Water is our #1 priority. There's got to be water around here somewhere.
I really hope so.
It's been hours since their last drink. And staying positive ain't easy.
Not only am I thirsty, I'm cranky.
But with dusk not far away, Adam at last thinks he's struck gold.
Oh, thank goodness.
Hold on there, cowboy. I wouldn't even touch that.
Why?
This is stagnant water. You'll get sick.
With how thirsty I am, we can't drink any of this?
Nah, we got to do it right.
Crap.
Look, when it comes to water, there are certain things that you just can't do. You can't drink salt water. You can't drink your own urine. You can't drink murky, still, stagnant water. If you do any of those things, you'll end up losing more water than you'll gain. That's all there is to it.
Jamie's right. The smell alone says that this water is not for drinking. And that's not the only bad news.
Dude, it's getting dark.
Yeah, I think we need to stop trying to find water and find a place to sleep instead.
Okay.
It's the survivors' worst-case scenario. With the daylight fading, the guys have to abandon their search for water and instead make an emergency camp.
Let's just make some mats so we don't have to lay on the bare ground.
With no time to waste, their only option is to literally tape a duct tape sheet straight to the ground.
Well, with any luck, the bugs will get stuck on the adhesive instead of crawling on you.
It's not a good wrap to a not very good day.
There are days when I've been proud of the work that we've done on this show. Escaping from an underwater car.
I survived!
Firing the world's first hail rocket.
Done, brother.
Is not one of those days. We built some stuff, but we did not succeed at getting food. We definitely did not succeed at getting water, and consequently, I am both thirsty, famished, uncomfortable, and really tired. Honestly, I'm a little daunted about what tomorrow holds.
You know, there's an awful lot of footprints on this beach for it being a deserted island and all.
Best not to think about that. You could drive yourself crazy.
The MythBusters started their duct tape survival special with high hopes.
We're stranded on a deserted island with nothing but several miles of duct tape. I'm feeling pretty optimistic about our chances for survival.
And although day one didn't go according to plan,
I can't drink any of this?
Crap.
they're beginning day two by trying to stay upbeat.
We might as well take this with us. Ah, that's nasty. Well, I suppose we could take the two of these we made and put them together and we'd have a nice mattress.
There's no doubt that they are in a sticky situation, but with shoes refitted,
Not pretty, but they get the job done.
Adam grabs some duct tape and sets off to try to find drinkable water.
Good walking stick.
This time he's heading in the opposite direction to yesterday's route.
Clearly these plants are all getting their water from somewhere.
I just need to find it.
By following the lusher vegetation, he hopes to increase his chances of finding a water source. But it's still no walk in the park.
I've been walking around for a while, and I still haven't found any water. And what we have here is a classic catch-22. I need water, and I'm burning through a lot of it just to try and find water. If I don't find it soon, it's gonna be bad.
So let's hope Jamie can do better.
It's hot out here and I'm thirsty. I got water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Except I can make fresh water out of this salt water with the sun's help and some duct tape.
It may sound as though Jamie's been in the sun too long,
It's already getting moist.
But his freshwater from saltwater idea is rooted in reality.
I found water.
He's going to build a device called a solar still, which is considerably more complicated than finding salty water in a sandy hole.
A solar still uses the sun's rays and condensation to collect water. And here's how. The hole I've dug is deep enough that it's wet with salt water. Now at the bottom I'll place a collection cup that I've made from duct tape. Then above the hole I'm going to put some clear plastic sheeting. The hot sun shines through that and evaporates the water from the sand, leaving the salt behind. The water vapor then condenses on the cool inside of the plastic surface and drips down into the cup as pure drinkable water.
That's the theory, at least. Let's see how well it works.
Well, having made his well
That's a big wet hole.
and taped up a collection cup,
Well, there it is. Guarantee it's waterproof.
all that's missing is the clear plastic overshoot. And for that, Jamie is bending the duct tape rules.
I'm making a duct tape spider web as a framework with which to hold together this stuff, shrink wrap. Now I know what you're saying, it's not duct tape, so why are we using it? Well, it did come on the duct tape pallet. I don't know what I'm gonna use this stuff for, but I bet you it's gonna come in real handy. And, you know, it's survival. We've got to use everything at our disposal. The thing is that all these little pieces don't really help us so much, but once they're held together into a one big sheet, we're golden.
There we go. Hopefully I didn't use more water making it than it'll make for me.
The last step is to carefully position the sheet over the hole.
There we go, that's the ticket.
And almost immediately, there are encouraging signs.
All that fog that you can already see forming on the underside of the plastic is what this is all about. It's picking up the moisture from the damp sand, which is evaporating, collecting on the plastic, and eventually those will form larger and larger droplets, which will run downhill into my collection container. Now we just have to wait.
And while we're waiting, it's back to our resident island savage.
I've got good news and bad news. The good news is my shoes are holding up well and they're actually getting more comfortable the more I walk. The bad news is the water's a little harder to find than I thought it would be.
And worryingly for everyone, an hour later, and there's still no sign of a stream.
How much water do I need to find? A fair bit, actually. Jamie and I are gonna need 2 to 3 liters of water each per day in order to survive.
And that's an amount that may also be beyond Jamie's solar still.
There's a lot of moisture collected on the surface of this thing. Let's see if any of it made it down into the receptacle.
It's the moment of truth. 2 hours cooking in the midday sun. What's the verdict?
Well, there it is. That's pure water, but that's like a quarter of a cup.
With less than 5% of their daily watery needs, it's a disappointing result.
Why does everything have to be so difficult?
But back at the rumble in the jungle, Adam's welling up with excitement.
It's fresh! All right, water bottles. Half my task is done. I have found fresh water, no small feat, and that's really important for our survival. Now, I simply have to get it back. So I'm gonna build something to carry the water.
But in the middle of the bush,
Beeping mosquitoes.
that's something that's not as easy as it sounds.
I would kill for a workbench right about now.
Adam's making a kind of tubular bottle that should hold about 10 pints of water, provided, of course, that it doesn't leak.
If I get a single wrinkle in this seam, it's a place where water can get out. Can't have that. Water's got to go from the pond into here, into here.
It's a painstaking operation, but eventually there's only one thing left to do.
Oh, 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 it's cold.
Fill it up.
Fill up, baby, come on. Please hold up.
First impressions are good.
It's working.
And second impressions are even better.
It seems to be holding. Awesome. I better get back to Jamie. I'll bet he's thirsty.
It's the most crucial survival challenge overcome. Thanks incredibly to duct tape shoes and a duct tape water vessel, Adam sourced a never-ending water supply. And that means things are finally looking up. Because for the time being at least, the MythBusters are not going to drop dead.
How did the solar still work?
Well, it worked, but I only got about a half a cup.
Well, I have some good news. How about 6 liters worth?
That's fantastic.
The hunt was worth it.
Oh, look at that.
Cheers!
Oh, that's good.
You know what I'm ready for now?
What?
A nice, fat, juicy steak.
Time for food?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Without doubt, tropical islands can be the very epitome of paradise on Earth. Yet for the MythBusters,
Ow.
it's been more a case of paradise lost.
Save us.
But having finally quenched their thirst,
Cheers!
their duct tape survival is improving.
Well, now that we've got fresh water, it's time to figure out how to get food. Adam's going to tackle the land, and I'm going to tackle the sea.
In other words, it's time to stop starving. But Jamie's first sea scheme to build a duct tape fishing net
It's not bad.
ends with him literally tied up in knots.
I swear this is going to be doing permanent psychological damage to me.
With the hunger clock ticking, Jamie decides there's only one solution: spear fishing.
There we go.
And while Mother Nature does provide the main component,
Give it up, tree. You're gonna lose.
duct tape is an integral part.
You might be able to do something with that.
There are 3 things that I can do with the duct tape to help make a spear. First, it'll allow me to attach and easily replace multiple points on the tip. Perfect. I dare say any little fish or critter wouldn't really want to get stuck by that. Then I can also use it to mark the balance point of the shaft, which will help with accuracy.
There we go.
And finally, the line on the end will help me retrieve it once I've thrown it. I'm gonna go catch me some fish.
Meanwhile, in the forest, Adam's on a wild chicken run. Literally.
I'm really hungry, and I saw some chickens out here. Wild chickens are good eating.
Perhaps overcome with hunger,
I think I see one right over there.
Adam first tries to catch one by simply chasing it.
Flies? Nobody told me chickens could fly.
Clearly, chasing them is a low percentage game. I'm gonna need to outsmart them and make some kind of trap. I'm thinking a snare.
Usually consisting of an anchored wire noose, snare traps are one of the simplest of all hunting tools. But can one made of woven duct tape really work?
Thank God I studied all that baton twirl. Now the whole idea of the snare is that this loop sits unassumingly on the ground until a chicken walks by it, and then I yank it, and hopefully I catch a chicken by the leg. Now it's a waiting game.
And while Adam waits, let's cut to the chase with Jamie.
Well, what I've got to do is pretty straightforward. Spot a fish and spear it.
Like snaring a chicken, it sounds easy in theory.
Okay, fish. Hold still. Oh,
But in practice,
yeah.
it's a beach.
Oh, I'm not leaving here without dinner.
On the plus side, though, the duct tape spear's holding up well.
I like my little string. Worked like a treat. Now if I can just get the fish to hold still. Just like fishing with a rod and reel, spear fishing is all about patience. It's not like they're gonna sit there like ducks and wait for you to spear them. You've gotta just hang out, wait for the right time, and then throw.
And there's no time like the present.
Ah! Yeah! It's about time.
At last, he's nailed it.
Oh, yeah, baby. Sushi for dinner.
It's a great result,
Sorry, little buddy, it's for a good cause. Yeah, I know.
especially because in the jungle, Adam's snare affair is a dud.
Damn it!
Consequently, he's been busy taping up Plan C.
Having been unable to coax a bird into my snare, I've changed direction, and I'm not actually building a duct tape spiderweb here. I'm building a net that'll lay across the forest floor, and when a chicken walks across it, I'll snatch him up, kind of like the Ewoks from Star Wars.
Aye, because if anyone knows about hunting in forests, it's the Ewoks.
Getting close. Now it's time to conceal it.
So surely this is a home run.
The net is concealed on the forest floor here. I'm hoping to chase a chicken through from this direction. And I can be as far back as 15 feet behind him. And I gotta just lean on this line, and all of these sidelines go up, along with the net, along with the chicken. And that's dinner.
Moments later, Adam carefully corrals some passing poultry into the danger zone. Until...
Hey! Oh, no! He got away! Hey! Squirted right out the side.
the force is strong with this one.
There he is, taunting me. Taunting me. He's like, in your face, Mythbuster!
But a quick reset later, and Adam's soon on the prowl once more.
Oh! I got it! I got the chicken! Look! 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 My net! My net caught the chicken! How you doing there, buddy?
We're gonna eat good tonight.
Ain't that the truth? With 2 food groups captured in one day, it's another tick for the talented tape. But before moving on to the next survival challenge, here's a quick word from our sponsor.
For those of you playing at home, I just want to be clear that this is in fact a wild chicken of Hawaii, and we did chase it, and we did catch it in my net. We are not, however, going to kill it, cook it, and eat it. The chicken you see us eating later in the episode, it was store-bought.
Food has featured in many an episode of MythBusters.
That is so wrong.
But rarely is it ever actually eaten.
Tenderizing steak with explosives.
But on day 3 of this duct tape survival special,
I got the chicken!
food is finally on the menu.
Yeah! Sushi for dinner.
Provided, of course, that the Mythbusters can cook up.
It's time to do the most primordial of human inventions. It's time to build a fire. How is this gonna work? Jeez, I'm crow. Come on. It's gonna work by friction, specifically the friction between this piece of wood and a base piece of wood, created by what's called a friction bow. I have a duct tape string stretched on a piece of bamboo, and I will roll it back and forth, which will cause this stick to spin very rapidly, hopefully creating enough friction to create an ember, which will be the germ of my fire.
The so-called bow drill is one of the most traditional ways to start a flame.
Oh, I don't want to get optimistic yet.
It's also one of the hardest.
Oh, no, 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 no.
But Adam tries, and tries again, until at last his duct tape bow goes ballistic.
I got it, Jamie! I got it! It took for freaking ever!
And once the fire really takes hold,
Now we're cooking!
it's not long before, dinner is served.
Not bad living here on the deserted island.
Yep. Nothing beats home cooking.
Nope.
With food and fire now sorted, the real life and death hurdles have been cleared comfortably. But there's a lot more to taming an island paradise than that. And next, it's time to better their abode.
Let's just make some mats so we don't have to lay on the bare ground.
Where it's fair to say that there is room for improvement.
That's nasty.
So as a new day dawns, Adam's searching for some respectable real estate. And this'll do.
Ah, look at that. It's beautiful. It's like a cathedral. This is the perfect place for us to set up a more permanent camp. Ah, I love it. One of the reasons this place is perfect is I can string a couple of hammocks. Hammocks are great, not just because they're comfy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But in an unfamiliar place, you don't really want to sleep on the ground. You don't want to give yourself such easy access to things like, I don't know, centipedes and scorpions and other things I don't want to think about.
Adam, how come you used up all our good duct tape rope on those hammocks?
Jamie, I'm stranded on a deserted island for weeks. I want to be comfortable when I sleep.
Oh, I don't really care how I sleep. I could sleep on a pile of rocks and millipedes, and I wouldn't care.
All right, there goes nothing. Wow, this is seriously comfortable. Like, I'm not even kidding, for television comfortable.
As home renovations go, it's a solid start. But there's much more to this castaway crib than good hang time.
Oh, hello. I'm so glad you've stopped by. Welcome to Banyan Estates. Can I give you the grand tour? This is the master accommodations with the master bed and shelter and rain catcher all in one, with a nice foot mat so one can get in and out of bed without having to wear shoes. The guest accommodations are almost as nice, with the guest rain catcher and roof, along with extra rope for anything that needs rope. It's all the comforts of home on your own deserted island.
And if that weren't enough,
I can't tell you how good it is to sit after all this time.
Adam goes the extra MythBusters mile by building a table and chairs
Now for the pieces.
and a chess set, which should give their duct tape camp that little bit of luxury.
Hey! Ah!
Meanwhile, Jamie's been taking an experimental tangent.
These waves make me wonder. Maybe I could make a surfboard out of duct tape.
Yep, with hunger and thirst no longer an issue, Jamie's decided to get gnarly.
So why surfing? Well, what's the point in surviving if you can't have any fun?
And fun in this case comes courtesy of some duct tape pontoons,
That's the last one.
each stuffed with bamboo for support and reeds for buoyancy.
The surfboard came together pretty much the way that I had planned. It's 4 pontoons that are all taped together into one big thing that is the size and shape of a surfboard, more or less, and I imagine it'll work like one. Time to go surfing.
Despite the optimism, there is a major drawback.
Oh, look at that.
Jamie's never surfed in his life. And learning on a slightly leaky duct tape surfboard was never going to be plain sailing.
Hey. Here we go.
Well, that was exhausting. But I'm actually kind of happy with it because I learned that while duct tape is okay at sealing things up, it's not perfect, and eventually stuff can leak. So if you build something that's relying on sealed pontoon, then you're screwed because you've got no ability to bail it or empty it out in any way, and it's going to sink. So failure as a surfboard, yes, but success as an experiment.
And that's not the only success, because physical exercise, along with mental stimulation,
No, I don't think we've ever actually played a game of chess together before.
are 2 very important goals for any survivalist.
There's a bug on my bishop.
It is actually a proven fact that keeping yourself mentally acute with something like a game of chess makes you better at problem solving. And surviving in a situation like this
is all about problem solving.
Checkmate.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Which means another key target in the survival challenge has been met. And that leaves only one thing. Luckily, it's not this.
Well, we found water, we found food, we made shelter with duct tape. I'm pretty sure a couple of you are gonna email me and ask me, why didn't you try wiping your butts with duct tape? And to that I say, really, give me a break. Give me a big fat freaking break. You wanna try this? I certainly don't. Not part of this episode, it's a family show.
Although Adam and Jamie's island survival's not gone quite this well,
This is gonna be a sin.
it has been a resounding success. Because after 4 days as duct tape castaways, they're physically fresh. Mentally focused.
Oh, crap, I'm in check.
And so well fed that a nosy chicken is more pet than picnic.
By the way, what's with the chicken?
Oh, well, that's Wilson. He's my new friend.
So with their short-term survival sorted, the Mythbusters are dreaming of one final thing: escape.
We've made ourselves a nice little home on this island. Duct tape's provided us everything we need: food, fire, water. We can stay here as long as we like, but rescue's not coming. It's time for us to get ourselves off this island.
In other words, it's time to build a boat. So, cue the banyan tree brainstorm.
So, we gotta make a duct tape boat, and it's gotta be ocean-worthy for probably a significant distance. We're gonna have to have a couple weeks worth of water, a couple weeks worth of food.
Bailers.
Bailers, yeah.
It's going to have to be pretty good size, like 20 feet or so.
What about a canoe design where we paddle it?
Yeah, a canoe design's pretty efficient, but if we do that, we're going to have to make outriggers.
You mean like one of those pontoon things off to the side?
Yeah, for stability.
We'll make it all out of duct tape and bamboo.
It's light and it's strong.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Our boat design is pretty straightforward. It's basically going to be a canoe. It's going to be about 20 feet long. This should be plenty of room for both me and Jamie and all the provisions we're going to need for our ocean journey. The canoe will also have an outrigger for stability. Its frame will be made out of bamboo, and it's going to be skinned in several layers of duct tape.
Said like that, it sounds easy.
Bamboo! We can totally use this.
Yeah.
But this project will put all of their other island innovations firmly in the shade.
We're no strangers to building duct tape boats, but for the first one, we had steel and a welder to make the frame.
Ah, it's pretty.
Out here, all we've got is this stuff and duct tape. And that's a whole different kettle of fish. And so you kind of have to build your own work table, your own jig, because otherwise you end up with this stuff full of dirt and pine needles and everything's all sloppy. We can't have that, especially when we're talking about a waterproof boat.
So having jerry-rigged a jig,
Perfect.
Adam and Jamie first focus on the canoe's bamboo mainframe, starting with the sides.
Look at that. That's already feeling like a boat. One in front, one in back, paddling.
Yeah, this is just wide enough to sit inside there.
Next, the guys turn their attention to the hull's base.
That's gonna be awesome.
Then they position a myriad of internal cross struts for maximum strength.
Ta-da!
Everything, of course, bound together with duct tape.
The degree to which the stickiness of duct tape precludes the need for knots is one of my favorite qualities of it.
Except that knots you can untie.
Yes, this is true.
With the rest of the structure time-lapsed into place,
rotate your boat.
the guys add tension to shape the frame, courtesy of a rock and a root.
There we go.
That's awesome.
The boat design we have here is basically a canoe. And that's fine if you're on a lake, but we're not. We're on the ocean, and we need a lot more stability so we don't tip over in the waves. Now, the traditional way of dealing with that is with an outrigger. And so that's what we're going to put on this.
The outrigger is like the canoe's baby brother. It too has a bamboo frame,
That ought to work.
and it too needs a duct tape skin.
We're gonna skin this boat once with the tape facing out. Attention to detail means the boat doesn't leak. Then we're gonna skin it again with the tape facing in. My fingers are raw from being stuck to tape repeatedly. Ow! This should give us a really secure, leathery duct tape skin. Hopefully keeps the water out and gets us home.
You know, Adam, I sure hope this works.
You and me both, man.
It's a time-consuming
Getting closer.
and somewhat painful process.
Ow. All this sticky stuff is giving me nightmares.
But after a full 6 hours, their rescue raft is as good as done.
Look at that!
I think this is gonna work great.
That is really, really pretty. Well, a couple dozen rolls of duct tape, a couple 100 feet of bamboo, and some ingenuity. I am super pleased with how this boat has turned out. My fingers are raw from tearing so many thousands of pieces of tape, and I think it might just be seaworthy.
Ready to carry it out?
Ready as I'll ever be.
All right.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty happy with our little boat. It's relatively light and strong between the bamboo and the duct tape, and yet this thing's over 20 feet. That's a big boat to be able to pick up.
Spinning.
And I think it's gonna hold up fine.
The MythBusters canoe confidence is high. But with sunset approaching,
That's it. Those are all our provisions.
her maiden voyage will have to wait. The MythBusters Duct Tape Island adventure has been eventful, to say the least.
Jamie and I, we've had our highs. Oh, I got the chicken! We've had our lows.
I'm thirsty, and I actually think I've got ants in my hair.
And now we've determined that it's time to go home. So, we've built ourselves a boat. We have provisioned it for at least a few weeks at sea. And soon, we're about to head out into the great blue yonder to try and get ourselves home.
And when Adam says they've provisioned it for a few weeks, he's not exaggerating.
Here's what we're taking on our journey. We got rope, we got fishing line, we got bailers, oars, duct tape, we have tarps, we have water bags, food bags, and a fishing spear. That doesn't help us make it. We weren't meant to.
I think we're ready to put it in, huh?
Let's carry it down.
All right. At this point, we found that duct tape is not a perfect solution for anything. But with some creativity and a pinch, it's an adequate solution for just about everything. Now, whether it'll hold up to a boat that has to get us across the ocean, there's only one way to find out. Okay. And it was the wave.
As the guys clamber in, it's worth highlighting that the one thing they don't have is a map.
It's working.
Oh yeah, baby!
Like real castaways, they're simply going to paddle until they find land or sink.
Pontoon's looking great.
But with the breaking waves approaching, sinking is a very real possibility.
Oh no, here we go. Whoa! Hey, it took it.
There's another one coming. It's bigger.
Uh-oh! Dude!
There we go.
There's no two ways about it. Those breakers were intense. Remember, we're sitting there in a canoe made of duct tape, paddling towards waves that were like 3 or 4 feet higher than the prow of our boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
It was absolutely terrifying, but once we made it past, totally knew we had passed one of the worst hurdles we could, and the boat was going to be okay.
Adam's right. Having survived the breakers,
How does she look like she's holding up in the water?
the main question now
Looking great.
is whether the canoe will hold together long enough for them to find civilization.
While duct tape's adhesive qualities are impressive, there's two things that can cause it to become less sticky: water and heat.
Man, it is hot out here.
Given that we're in the ocean and it's about 90 degrees, we've got both in spades, but the only bailing I'm having to do so far
Adam, I've got a little water back here.
is because of water that's being splashed into the boat rather than any sort of leak.
Are you saying my oar technique sucks?
2 hours in, and with their island now a distant memory,
I can't see the shore anymore.
We're in open water now.
Adam and Jamie start raiding their provisions. First water,
You want some?
and then food. 3 hours in, and an impromptu fishing stop
There, right there.
is all that slowed them down.
I think you missed it. The boat is doing beautifully. Honestly, it's exceeding all possible expectations I could have had for its performance. The pontoon is staying afloat, not taking on more water than we can handle. We got enough supplies. All we got now is time.
And although that time is causing some boredom issues,
You know, Jamie, this one time in New York,
You already told me that story.
sorry,
MythBusters' morale is high.
one of my favorite sandwiches is a BLT with avocado and aioli.
For me, I'd say there's nothing like a good old hamburger. A really nice one.
As 3 hours becomes 4,
Dude, I'm gonna take a little break, okay?
and 4 becomes 5.
Let's just hope we're not paddling in circles.
Let's put this maritime masterpiece in context. Adam and Jamie's yesterday's news broke apart in 20 minutes. Their duct tape dinghy was on the water not much longer,
Try not to put your feet through the bottom.
and their Alcatraz escape raft was an accident waiting to happen.
I have no idea where we are.
But their duct tape canoe has now been in the open ocean for over half a day and is still going strong.
You know, dude, this boat, strongest case yet. The duct tape is a frickin' miracle material.
Yeah, there's no underestimating the power of duct tape.
With neither a leak nor a tear, you might say it's been plain sailing. And what's more,
Dude, land!
I see it.
at last, after close to 7 hours at sea, land looms large on the horizon.
Dude, we are saved!
I think so.
And what that means is it's mission accomplished. Because their final challenge, to build a seaworthy boat and escape their myth-worthy deserted island, has, like all their other duct tape demands, been a total triumph.
I can't believe this boat actually held up.
I know!
Our little duct tape boat did great. Held up through the breakers.
There we go.
It held up in the open water, and it held up in the sun.
Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah!
And it did that despite only weighing about 100 pounds,
Okay, I'm out.
I'm out!
which for a boat that size is incredibly lightweight. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with the duct tape right now.
Excellent.
Well, duct tape's the stuff. Not only did it help us survive on the island, it helped us get off the island, and ultimately, it helped us find civilization.
Adam, it's the same island.